consciously slow down your breathing. Observe how your stomach expands when you breathe in and observe how your stomach muscles contract when you breathe out. Gently breathe in and gently breathe out. Even if your mind goes elsewhere, acknowledge the thought, ignore it, and bring your attention gently back to your breathing. Gently breathe in and gently breathe out. As you breathe in, relax yourself. Experience the relaxation. Gently rub your palms and wipe your eyes. When you are ready, gently open your eyes. You know how much time it took? About 60 seconds. Can you see the difference in the environment? How it was when we started, how it is now? This is a very simple applied spirituality tool you can use both at home and your offices. You can start every meeting with this 1 minute meditation and end with 1 minute meditation. Okay? Good. So in general, when we speak about getting things done, most of you are IT leaders. There are 3 ways in which we can make people to do something. One, we can inform them about the task and wish and pray that they will do it. Okay? Second is we can instigate them, we can coerce them to do something. Third is we can inspire them. You can inform, instigate, or inspire. Which one do you think works best? If you were supposed to be doing, which one would work best with you? Good. Inspire. That's what we all feel. So that's why today we have 4 accomplished leaders from varied backgrounds to inspire each one of us so that we can lead by example. You must have seen the title of the session, Lead by Example. So all these 4 accomplished speakers, through their stories of triumph and transformation, they are going to inspire us about how we can lead by example. You're interested? Yes, you're game for it? Very good. So let's start with the first speaker. So each speaker is going to speak for about 15 to 16 minutes. Okay? And then towards the end, we will have all the speakers come onto the stage. And if you have any questions, you can ask the question to the speakers. That's what we are going to have over the next 90 minutes or so. Is that okay? Very good. So let me invite the first speaker, Rashmikant Acharya, onto the stage. So Rashmikant has more than 3 decades of global finance and advanced technology-based experience. He has been working for more than 3 decades with many MNCs, both Indian and non-Indian MNCs. Most recently, he was head of quality at Barclays, managing teams that are spread across 40 countries and managing revenues of more than 2.3 trillion. And currently, he is managing multiple hospitals which are run by Brahmakumaris, both here in Abu Road, upstairs in Gyan Sarovar, and even in Bombay. He is trustee and member of the board member of Global Hospital and Research Center Trust, which manages multiple hospitals across India, and he's doing some pioneering work as a part of his current role. So today we'll hear from him about, as a technologist, as a scientist who spent 10 years working with ISRO, that's how he started his career. Using his scientific bent and using the precision that comes from the IT industry, and he has also been practicing Raj Yoga for more than 25 years. So clubbing all these three, he's going to talk to us about this concept of peace lab in our mind, how he has created one in his own mind and how he has used it as a part of his personal and professional life. Rashmikant Acharya.
Good morning. I can't hear. I think breakfast was not sufficient, right? Good morning. Here we go. It's a great pleasure to meet all of you today morning. The topic we are planning to have a conversation is that, what was the application, spiritual application in our life that, helped us. So today morning would like to share that how this spiritual application taught by Brahma Kumaris helped me and my organization, my family, and that's why we are going to share and discuss today. When we talk about peace, when we talk about any subject, if you use any search engine, if you use Google, you find tons and tons of documents, right? So one point, what I learned here is that something we called information and other thing we called as a knowledge. एक है कुछ information और दूसरी चीज है ज्ञान. Are you with me? Right? तो information तो हमारे पास बहुत है. I will use the Hindi and English, both is comfortable. So, I have seen that people are using that, information, and anything we see that, the pioneer in technology, we see the US first, right? And all the technology got birth from the thought of war, right? First internet started by military. Then it was used by various set of people. Any technology you name it, whether it is a, missile first or a rocket launcher, now we can use it for commercial satellites and all. But in the age of technological advancement, what we have observed, people are so accustomed to that, they spend so much of time with the technology, and end of the day, they get stressed, they get hypertension, they develop blood pressure, they face a lot of diabetic problem. And some point of time, we start seeing that at the young age, people get stuck and they leave the body. So what is the necessary things in our life is that learn something within this brain circuitry. Wherever we are working, we are spending 8 or 10 hours maximum. We have 24 hours a day. But what happens? We carry entire organization on our head. We feel that if we are not there, organization will corrupt, will be, will collapse, or people will be corrupt. They will not do right transaction. If it is, in banking transaction and all, there will be some fraud. Or Without me, something will happen. But none of us are indispensable. We agree? So, what happens as a human being, we generate 50,000 thoughts minimum per day. How many? Right? And if we are under stress and tension, it can go up to 70,000. And in India, we know that what we are body or we are soul? We are soul, right? You understood today morning. So हम कहते हैं हम आत्मा हैं. If we are souls, then why we develop so much of weight in our head? You realize that? We develop so much of pressure in our head. We carry a lot of weight on our head. What is the reason? Thoughts have no weight. And soul is just point of light. If soul leaves the body, there won't be any change in the weight of the body. But what happens? The thoughts we generate, 50,000 thoughts, we don't know how to invest these 50,000 thoughts. And what I learned here is that do the systematic investment in early age. And that systematic investment of thoughts, thought energy. What people do it, sister was talking about apple. When apple was falling on the ground, Newton would have also seen in his childhood, right? Everybody used to say that apple falls on the ground. But one day Newton got an idea why it falls on the ground. And he developed the Newtonian mechanics. And it worked up to certain extent for macroscopic particle. It failed. Then we got a quantum mechanics, right? And then it works for microscopic. And then still, it doesn't work for thoughts. So how can we preserve thoughts? How can we do systematic investment of thoughts? What I learned from chief spokesperson of the Brahma Kumaris is Jagdish Chandra Hashijaya. He is no more. But when I used to discuss with him, what I learned from him is that he told he got the sakshatkar of Gyan, not sakshatkar of any vision or something, but he could realize the knowledge. What is the nectar of knowledge? And how I learned from him and how we learned from this organization is that you consider yourself as a point of light. And that's how, when I started working with Indian Space Program, I thought, let me build one space lab within this brain circuitry. And you know that anywhere we go, we want to be a successful person. They say you should have a right balance. Even you want to run the company, you should have a healthy balance sheet. We call it a balance sheet, not imbalance sheet. When we have a brain circuitry, we have a right hemisphere and left hemisphere. In western side, people are using more logic. In eastern side, we are using more intuition. So it says, how can we develop equilibrium between both the hemisphere of the brain circuitry? We call it as a peace lab. And that's how I got idea to explore that inner world. We have seen that the theme of the conference is inner technology. So I got this idea 35 years back. How can we explore the inner world, inner space? Being a scientist, we explore a lot of outer space, but how can we explore the inner space? And what I understood is that each thought has three attributes. It can be governed by three faculties of the soul. First is the mind, second is intellect, and third one is the resolve, our sanskar. And what is the function of the intellect is that you can visualize something, right? If I request you that, why can't you look at your primary school where you were studying? Can you see that? And the emotions related to that primary school will be emerged. So mind will start thinking about where intellect is focused. And how we are going to think is based on our results, our habit. If we keep it a small toy on the table, a small kid will look at this as a nice toy to play. Artist will look at that, oh, we can change the anatomy and we can make it more colorful. Parents will look at whether it's hygienic or not for my kid. Businessmen will look at that, what ROI I will get it. Can I produce more like this? It's a small object, but thought process for the same objects are different from different people. Are we agree? So what happens, our focus sometimes gets into a wrong place. And mind has a faculty, power, it starts thinking about that wrong place. and then we build the wrong habits. And what happened if the focus is on the negative energy, it caused lot of problem for IT people. Can you believe that in US, 50% of the marriages end with divorce? In Belgium, few years back, 70% marriages used to end up with the divorce. It means, they are using technology, they are well in the curve, they know right from, 2G, 3G, 4G, now 5G is happening. We started with, mainframe, VEX VMS. It has gone into pager. It has gone into, electronic typewriter. Now all these items are museum items. It has gone into the mobile. Finally, it has gone into the, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, big data, Hadoop, DevOps, right? We are talking all these terms. We have used it. But when I was doing this, as a scientist and as a professional, when I was studying in IIM and London Business School, when I was talking with our professors that, what is more important in life? And sister has rightly said some time back yesterday that unlearn to learn. We have some assumption, presumption that this is my way of doing things. So what happens? The way we are thinking throughout the day, it's like a garbage in, garbage out. We don't know how to do a right timetable of our thoughts per day. And if you do the right investment of our thoughts, you will find your investment in multi-baggers. Some of the penny stocks and something multi-bagger, are you aware about that? Right? So what happens if thoughts like a seed, if we invest in useless, wasteful thoughts, then what will happen? You will get return out of that in our life. And that's why people are saying at the time of the birth of the kid, you start investing for them. So it's not something I learned that, spirituality, meditation, it's something when we get retired, at the time we can start, but that's not true. We have to retire every day from our workplace and start new life with the family as well. So you start enjoying the retire on every day, then you can start enjoying your life. And that's how it helped me. Second thing is that, when you develop something lab, like how we call it, any software has so many viruses. So in inner world, inner space, we get so many viruses as well. So you need to develop antivirus software, right, within our brain circuitry. So what we learned from Brahma Kumar is that if any negative thought comes, each negative, wasteful thought has its own signature. Before you get angry, there is a trait. You will know that I am going to get angry. You pick up that signature and use the peaceful thought. Use the various tools and techniques that what Balabhai mentioned just within 60 seconds. He helped us to experience how 60 seconds can help us to realize the peace in our life. So we get 8 hours, 16 hours belong to us. So for 16 hours, if we start investing on ourselves, for our family, for our friend, for our nation, what will happen? That investment will yield a far better result. Because whatever the scientists have done it in North America or Europe countries or Far East or Australian side, people, they don't know what is soul. And we know since 5,000 years, we are souls. And we got the exact knowledge in Brahma Kumaris, who are we? So when we got that knowledge that I am point of light, we develop that antivirus. And here you will learn 8 powers. So you build 8 powers within your brain circuitry to develop that antivirus software within that. So you will get protected. Whenever we are talking with different forces or various people, they are under tremendous stress because there is no process like, if you start IT project, you go through a process, review. Bullet comes and, passes through the body, right? There is nothing like, post-mortem reports and all of this, right? So when you go through such, stress, tension, how can you maintain your compose, calm, and inner strength, inner quality? And that's how, we developed that thought wave communication technique, and it helped me. So within this Peace Lab, you consider yourself as a point of light. How you set up your disk antenna? Can you see the satellites, the 36,000 kilometer altitude from the surface of Earth? Can you see any communication satellite and its transponder? Can you see that? But you believe there is a satellite, right? And you change the angle, what happens? You don't get pictures. Real time, you get so many channels with audio and video, then HD, and so many things are coming. Same way, what we learned, that you consider yourself as a point of light, have that picture of that supreme being, that Shiv Paramatma, right? Param Dham, Shanti Dham, Nirvana Dham, and we can establish a relationship with him. Tameo Matascha Pita Tameo, Tameo Bandhu Saka Tameo, Tameo Vidyam Dravinam Sameo, Tameo Sarvam Mamade. You can establish any relationship, and he is not a dead entity, he is a living entity. So what will happen if your angle is right, and what is the data plan? 0. You have to dial 0. I am point of light. Right? And you can start video conference. When we are doing a lot of research work, that people used to doubt, can you talk over phone without wire? What is wrong with these people? Now you can see, even video conference, you can share the, transfer the files and all. Right? So we have seen this transition of the technologies, but now we have to establish a method, a toolbox within this brain circuitry. We have to develop a prototype here before you go. A piece level prototype, and then have a thought wave communication. You can establish any relationship, and you can start communicating with him. It's a 0 cost, right? So when you develop that thought wave communication between the self and supreme, you will get lot of blessings of the virtues, values. And being scientist, I work that, so I'm not trying to share something that will lead to any anshraddha, right? We call it in a very, very simple term. But you experiment yourself. You get up early in the morning, consider yourself, have the protection of all the antivirus, all 8 powers, right? And then you see in your intellect that supreme being, you will see the source of peace within your brain circuitry. And what will happen? It will flow around you. So what happens? People like us, I was talking with our co-speaker that when we are working, across numbers of countries, we run thousands of concurrent projects. We deal with hundreds and thousands of people, and so hundreds and thousands of concurrent programs. By end of the day, if we feel everything is being done by me, then we carry a lot of stress and tension. I'm just instrumental. I have a team. You trust them. You help them. You motivate them. And then what will happen? They will do everything for you. So what we need to do from here is that, are you getting? So shall we experience for just 30 seconds that, I am point of light in this peace lab. And what we need to do is that you feel that you are fully protected with these 8 powers, with virtues, values, and blessings. And reflect on yourself. Here it says reflection. Where can you reflect? There is a still water. So when your number of thoughts will be reduced, you will produce a strength, quality in your thoughts. Then you can reflect on yourself. And then what will happen? You will start rethinking, am I in right direction? I want to go to Bangalore and I'm driving towards Delhi. The fast I drive, the fastest way I will reach wrong place. So what is the aim of my life? Where I want to go? Where I want to reach? So just rethink. It is an opportunity. And this is very innovative, right? You will see a lot of technological advancements, so many gadgets, equipments, but people miss it, and that is why they land up with so much of stress and tension, right? And then what will happen? You rejuvenate yourself. What will happen when you put a seed? You have to nurture the seed with water, sunlight, and all. If we are in the rat race, we have a desk or office, we have a computer system, we have a small car, a small apartment on some floor, and if we are in a rat race, what will happen? That small world, by the time you will earn with lot of money, you will lose it, right? You will lose your happiness, you will lose your peace. So what today we are going to learn is that build the prototype, reflect, rethink, rejuvenate, and develop the inner world, inner space, inner beauty, inner quality, inner strength, then you need not require to spend so much on other beauty products outside. Thank you.
That was interesting. In one sentence, what Rashmikant Bhai was saying is, sit inside your peace lab, sit, SIT, systematic investment of your thoughts, utilize your MIS system, mind, intellect and sanskars, and develop antivirus software to remove your waste and negative thoughts. Sit, MIS, antivirus software and peace lab. Those were the 4 keywords. And then they result through reflect, rethink, and the end result is rejuvenate. Okay? Was that interesting? Very good. So let's move on to the next speaker. She is Ms. Bindu Venkatesh. Yes. Give her a big hand, please. She is currently working as Vice President Human Resources and Training at Oracle India. Bindu has 23 plus years of experience across industries, domains and geographies. She has worked with technology giants like GE, IBM, Infosys and Bosch prior to Oracle Corporation. She completed her Masters from London School of Economics and Political Science and has a number of reputed certifications in coaching. And she's very passionate about coaching and perspective building for employees and wants to champion more diversity in workplace. She strongly believes that all of us should endeavor to do more meaning making in addition to money making that we are engaged in. She's very passionate about meaning making as a part of our roles at our workplace rather than just doing the job. So let's listen to Bindu.
So I come from Karnataka, Bangalore. Our greatest saint was Basaveshwara. He's called Basavanna, Anna being like Bhai, the way you say in Hindi. He said something very profound. He's written a lot of couplets called Vachanas. I would recommend some of you who are interested in spiritual reading to read about Basavanna. One of the most important ones was Kayakave Kailasa, which means work is worship and leads you to God. So for all the young ones here, while the session is about IT, I don't want you to go back with the belief that possibly work is at the root of all these problems. It's not. Work liberates, work emancipates us, work gives us tremendous amount of meaning, work helps us to address the question of who we are by teaching us about achievement orientation, how to use power very positively. So work defines us. So let's first celebrate the fact that we have a job, we are gainfully employed, and each of us can make a difference to everybody else around us. Okay, so I am a student of economics and psychology, and a lot of my reading is not in the area of spirituality, but is in psychology. But trust me, there's a lot of linkages you can find between psychology and spirituality. I'm not an expert, I'm sure the sisters can tell us very well. If you look at a book written by a person called Viktor Frankl, once again I would recommend all of you to try and read this book. It's called Man's Search for Meaning. So Viktor Frankl was a psychologist, but he was actually in a concentration camp during the Second World War. Before the Second World War ended, if you remember, the Jews were all in a concentration camp. In the concentration camp, he noticed that there were some who survived the concentration camp with an absolute positive attitude and some who didn't, and some of them even went to the extent of committing suicide. So when he came out of the concentration camp, he started wondering why and researched deeply into it to figure out when people have two things, meaning and purpose, we're able to endure any kind of difficulties. So for us, the lesson is that we should A, be able to find meaning and purpose at work, and B, as many of us are leaders here, be able to clarify this to the younger generation. How do we do it in Oracle? I'll tell you. Oracle actually has the average age at 24 years. So we have a lot of millennials in our organization. Many of them come from B towns and C towns of India into, NCR, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Chennai, Mumbai, are various centers within India. Many of them haven't spoken in English to each other. कई लोगों का मीडियम ऑफ इंस्ट्रक्शन भी हिंदी में है, इसलिए उनको फ्लुएंटली अंग्रेजी बोलना नहीं आता. But is that a skill or is that a intelligent quotient factor? I would think it's only a skill that can be picked up very easily. So what we do is we try to train people in learning English so that they develop the necessary confidence. Well, that is one part. There's a deeper issue. Many of them come from B towns, C towns. There's a tremendous amount of sense of community in these cities, which doesn't exist, unfortunately, in all the metropolises. As a result, there's tremendous amount of loneliness. And at least the girls may talk to us and say, I'm feeling lonely, but the boys are told, man up, you're not supposed to show any emotion. So many of them go through a lot of pain by themselves because they're unable to form deep, meaningful associations. We realized this and we started, which was already running, but we started paying a lot of attention to what is known as an employee assistance program. One part is to get the professionals to talk to our employees, make them open up, discuss if they're feeling lonely, and see if we can form associations. The second part was we formed buddies. We took some of the senior people who are from the same B and C towns, who had empathy for such a situation, to be able to talk to these employees and bring them out of their shell. We also have what is known as barefoot psychologists, who walk around, talk to people on a regular basis so that they're able to allay anxieties, allay feelings of isolation and stuff like that. Has it helped us? Yes. There are two parts to running an organization. The concern for profits, obviously, and this most important one is concern for people. Who are the people? The people are your employees, your customers, your own peers, your upline. You have to be kind to them also. So as a result, we said if we have to show this concern for people, what sisters have been speaking of from the beginning, and what brother Bala has been speaking about, which is that inspirational leadership, which leads to what? So it is good to have inspirational leadership, but you should remember inspirational leadership triggers off something called discretionary effort in psychology. What is discretionary effort? When nobody is looking at me, I still bring my best game to the workplace. Many of you may have experienced it. You are sitting here. You were sitting here yesterday. You're going to sit here on Monday. Do you have to worry about what your employees are doing back at the workplace? Many of you will say no, because you have developed a level of trust. And as a result, they know that even without you being there to supervise them, they will bring their best game. That is because they're truly inspired. Now, how does that help spiritually? When you bring discretionary effort, you're doing what in psychology is known as role making. There are two parts to a role taking and role making. Role taking is what the company tells you and you paint within the lines. Role making is what gives us innovation, creativity, profitability. Yeah? When people say, I'll go above and beyond, I'll think for myself. Beg your pardon. I'll think for this team. So when people go to that level of role making, they're also discovering themselves. And we know as Indians that karma yoga is another way of reaching God. So this is our way of finding purpose and meaning. So when people do the role making, they're invariably able to add better value to the organization. We have experienced it upfront. A lot of our tools and applications in Oracle have come from the ideas of individuals. But we also acknowledge in the Google era, while Google is a plus, it's also a minus. It is like Spider-Man. It can be our weakness as well as our strength. So as a result, we notice people are getting less and less curious. If you can find something on the net, why will you even bother to read about it? But you realize intuition or even synapse happens in our brains only when we're able to draw on something we already have and apply it into a new context. Therefore, we realize we have to pique people's curiosity. So we have what is known as the Infinitely Curious Labs, ICL, like any other league. So what happens in this is employees themselves run the Infinitely Curious Labs in various locations. They look at everything. This is not just about IT. So we'll say, okay, if you have to improve the traffic problem in Bangalore, an endemic problem for anybody who's traveled to Bangalore, you'll know. Or we say, okay, there is no water table in Bangalore. It's decreasing every day. So what should we do to renew it? If lakes are completely, unusable, the water is not potable, it's very dangerous to drink that water, what should we do? So all these out-of-box thinking actually helps them to get more into the thinking process and the curiosity process. We've got a lot of ideas through that process. We've built apps for vehicle sharing. We've tried to clean up a lake that is close to our office based on this principle. So what happens to employees who do these things? They find a lot of meaning and purpose at work. The most critical part in piquing this curiosity, in helping individuals to use discretionary effort, is to have great entry-level managers. And let's face it, when speed is of essence, which is what is core to IT, many of us promote people because, okay, they have to be promoted, they're exceptional individual contributors. We don't focus too much on whether they're exceptional managers. So we need to create these exceptional managers who are able to work with employees. The point is, all of them are technically extremely competent, right? They know their current job, but many of them don't know what is the future holds. Not all of us can be Zygeist, right? We can't have an idea of what is around the corner. So how do they do that? There's tremendous amount of ego in our industry. Let's all acknowledge. There's a lot of money, there's a lot of perks, there's stock, there's travel abroad. You name it, we have it, right? And you can claim anything against actuals. So it's a wonderful industry to be in, but it's also susceptible to a lot of ego, intellectual arrogance, etc. So we realized this could be a huge demotivator for a lot of youngsters. That is why we had a two-door. People enter, people exit, etc. So we decided we'll use the reverse coaching process. What did it essentially do? The reverse coaching created a lot of humility. Suddenly, we were getting youngsters coaching their managers and telling them what are the future technologies, how does cloud work, how does Bitcoin operate, what happens when we look at metadata, how do we develop an analytics tool. So based on that, you could see there was a lot of mutual respect that happened and mutual trust. We are still running a campaign right now in the entire month of September called IDK, I don't know. Trust me, it's the hardest thing to say in this world, right? Especially if you reach a certain level of accomplishment, you don't want to reveal that you don't know something. It makes us extremely vulnerable. And because we don't want to feel vulnerable, human beings are very strange. When we feel vulnerable, we actually become more human, but we resist that entire process of being vulnerable, saying, no, I want to, as a leader, appear like I know everything. So we started this campaign called IDK. We made all our vice presidents and senior vice presidents and CEO actually say what they don't know and how they intend to learn it in our financial year. Our financial year is from May to June. So, based on the fact that the VPs and senior VPs and even the CEO said, I don't know, we have a lot of employees opening up to say, okay, I'll also send you a chit. Maybe it'll be anonymous, but I'll tell you what I don't know and what I intend to learn. So this way we'll have a more realistic learning opportunity. Okay, so these are the things that we've tried to do in our organization to build that level of inner resilience. Okay, the most important thing that we've done is create connectedness. Human beings need that connectedness. And we are notorious, let me tell you, we have our own messenger, we have our own social network called OSN, which replicates Facebook. We have our own OTube, which replicates YouTube. So obviously it's all internal and nobody wants to get up from their seat and go and meet somebody and have a chat. So they would rather just send a message or send an email or have virtual meetings. Nobody's comfortable in a face-to-face meeting. It's reached that point. So what did we do? We looked at energy research, energy and productivity research. We got a little data point from there which said anybody is at their productive peak in the middle of the week, in the afternoons. So around Wednesday, Thursday, we are probably at the peak of our performance. So we decided 3 to 5 on Wednesday, nobody will send each other messengers. Either they, A, sit by themselves to think, or B, they have face-to-face meetings during that time. It could be on performance, it could be how somebody is getting along, but something so that once a week for 2 hours they can spare it to talk to each other. It's remarkable what that has done. That is part one. Part two is we decided we don't have enough gratitude in this organization. We all suffer from, oh, big deal, if they know that, I also knew it, it's just that I didn't speak about it first. So as a result, we decided we have to acknowledge people who helped us to grow in our own organization. So every Teacher's Day, we run it as a gratitude day, where each of us will write to somebody in the organization, irrespective of their level, hierarchy, gender, whatever. We ensure that we write a little personalized thank you mail telling them, this is what I learned from you, and I'm really grateful because it's really helped my career. Now, this has, sometimes, you also go through a situation of serendipity in HR, and you're like overwhelmed or humbled or whatever. So essentially we thought, okay, the giver will feel, the receiver will feel very happy and say, wow, thank you, HR, for once you, pardon my language, idiots have actually managed to do something good. But it turned out the givers were more happy than the receivers. They came back and said, please run this even more frequently, don't do it on Teachers' Day only. Which was really, really humbling for us, because we never expected the givers to be so happy giving this kind of thanks. The second part is we, let's face it, are the lucky 5% in this country. We may deny, we may say our salaries are not enough, I'm not driving a Jaguar, whatever it is, we are the lucky 5% in this country. Let's first acknowledge it to ourselves. There's a lot we can do in terms of give back. And we realize this generation of millennials, hats off to all of you in this room, anybody born after 1984, feel proud, pat yourself on the back, you're more giving than us, okay? The Generation X. Okay, much more giving than us. Please pat yourself on the back. So you do believe you want to work for an organization that provides you with opportunities to give back. It's humbling. Last year, our entire engineering group that joined us from multiple colleges got together, donated their entire first month's salary. Our CEO was so moved, he met all of them. They were in different locations. Some of them were, even abroad, in London, in our New Jersey office, in Redwood Shores, in California. They all contributed back, all their entire month's salary. It was extremely humbling to see that. Okay. Similarly, they want to do a lot of give back. So we have activated our CSR process, which was like a tick in the box. But now it is big ticket, because honest to God, these children are contributing back a lot. They're building schools, rebuilding schools, sorry. They're trying to buy notebooks, etc. for children. They're trying to contribute. Right now, there are a lot of them in Kerala doing the rehabilitation work, learning literally on the fly, and trying to contribute back to society. They're in Coorg, they're egging all of us on, saying, based on your salary, I think you can give 20 blankets, please give it to us. So they're actually they're becoming the conscience keepers of the organization. If that is not spirituality, I don't know what is. Because frankly, you having a conscience is great, but you creating a conscience in another generation that begrudgingly or however is giving back is a phenomenal experience. Apart from that, we do one thing that I'm totally proud of, which is called Kindness Month. It typically happens in the last month, December, also because the Messiah was born in that month. So therefore, a lot of employees do little acts of kindness to each other and to the larger community. For instance, they help our housekeeping staff, our, the non-billable, non-revenue generating staff on contract, etc., to have something as a part of the thank you process for them. They try to, for one day, do what, the association here would call seva, so that they're able to give back something. So through all this, the camaraderie amongst people has increased. And while we are a secular organization, through acts of mindfulness, we have a mindfulness workshop on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We can't call it meditation, then people will take exception to it. So all those things have helped us to create an organization that believes in doing good and being good at the same time. So for me, there's a lot of learning personally, because you realize people are inherently good. Like sister was saying in the previous session, people are inherently good. They want to do good as well, and they want to do it as part of the community they identify with the most, and that is their workplace. Most of us in this room have asked each other only one or two questions to get to know each other. One is, what's your name, where are you from, and where do you work? So where I or you work has become extremely, extremely important to our identity. And therefore, if we can create a portable paradise in our heart, from the place we work, where everybody can come with a spring in their step Monday through Friday and say, hey, I enjoy working with these people. I enjoy working for this company because it has a bigger meaning for me. I think that is our path towards spirituality, at least. So with that, I thank you for your time. Thank you, Brother Bala. And yeah, have a nice day.
Wow. Is that the feeling each one of you gets? You can say that. That was one chock-a-block of IDK, internal development kit, that Bindu gave all of us in less than 16 minutes. She talked about meaning, humility, inner resilience, connecting with people, which are called as human moments, gratitude, acknowledgement, give mindset versus take mindset, kindness and mindfulness. Is that an interesting set with what we call as an internal development toolkit, internal development kit? Fantastic. So now, do you want to take 30 seconds and reflect on what she mentioned and any one change that you would like to make starting now? Not today, starting now. You want to do that? Let's sit back, close your eyes, and try to reflect on what you heard so far, both from Rashmikant Bhai about the Peace Lab and SIT, and about IDK, what just Bindu spoke. Decide on one positive change that you would like to bring about from now. Just one positive change. Visualize yourself implementing that positive change and feeling good about having made that positive change. Feel it. Whether it is in your relationships, at your workplace, with your own self, feel that positive change. And make a determined thought that this is how I'm going to transform. This is one thing that I'm going to transform from now. Thank you. Gently open your eyes. You feel good about yourself, having made the decision? Very good. So now we have our next speaker, Vikram Nagi. Vikram Nagi is Vice President for Global Technology Services in IBM India. He's been working with IBM for close to 20 years. He's also the global service owner of Integrated Managed Infrastructure, which is a mouthful. He will tell us what that is, which provides managed services for cloud and hybrid environment in IBM. He's completed MBA from Victoria University, Australia. Vikram.
Om Shanti. Can you hear me? So one of the things before I want to start was yesterday when I came in, Sister Asha was saying that people are traveling in planes, going to the same place, but they never talk to each other. One second. So, and I do the same thing. When I am on a plane, I have my earphones, my laptop, my iPad, my battery charger, everything, so I don't have to talk to the person next to me. Yesterday I said, I'm going to change that. I'm going to ask you to do that as well. So please stand up and talk to the person next to you and introduce yourself, please. Everybody. All right, excellent. Thank you very much. So my journey started a couple of years ago, and I'll touch base how my journey started. But one of the things while my journey started, I realized I'm not a human being anymore. I'm not even an alien. So can somebody guess what I have become? Robot? Machine? I think everybody was using this word, a human doing. Ladies and gentlemen, a live human doing sitting here who gets up in the morning 6 o'clock and has to do something, right? And I reflected, I grew up in a very happy, joint Punjabi family, Punjabi as I am, as it comes from. And Punjabis have a very different way to show their love and appreciation for the kids, right? And it is no different. So, your uncle will come and say, Patek, kya haal hai? And your mother will sit there and say, Kutya, kuch kar la hai, kuch kar la hai. Do something, you little doggy, do something, you little doggy. And so I started to say, okay, let me start doing, So in that doing, and everything you do has an evolution, right? So that doer became a compressive stressor to almost on the verge of getting into a situation of depression or OCD, because you could go anywhere. Sky is the limit in this line, right? But then, everybody got mercy on me, especially my wife, my beautiful wife, who's here. She's here, so thank you. And she got me here. And Baba had his own way, the Punjabi way, to give me a kick to get me into it. But before I get into that, we've always had talks about, stress management, right? I learned project management when I was doing my MBA. I did business management, right? Financial management, but stress management, why do you want to do stress management? You manage something which you love, not something which is going to kill you. So how many of you think stress is going to kill you? Hands up. Wow, almost everybody. How many of you think stress is not going to kill you? Wow, so some good news. If you think stress is going to kill you, then yes, it will kill you. If you don't think stress is not going to kill you, is not going to kill you. And this is something, while on the journey I reflected. My father, he was a army man with big mustaches, and he always say, oh, bande jinna nu sog issues nahi honde, oh banda nahi honda. If you don't have 100 issues in your neck, you're not a man. So that's what he always used to say, and the same loving way. Patak, kuch kar la but, so okay. But in the whole doing, right, we have become so far that we need to now come back, reflect, and get into a mindfulness. So before I get into what I started doing and how this institution was giving me signals which I couldn't pick up, and finally my wife picked up those signals and brought me here, and Baba gave me one slap like the Punjabi style, get on that. 10 years ago, in 2010, I moved to Delhi from Bangalore, and I got a mobile number. And look at my mobile number. It's 9999344455. And look at the number which is flashed every day on the screens of Peace of Mind after the television thing happens. And after the program would be telecasted, I would get at least 5 calls and say, Om Shanti. And, sometimes it used to be like, frustrating. Obviously, I am overworked, angry person. Of course, yesterday we heard, the power goes to your head. Sometimes it does, right? But whenever I heard that somebody saying Om Shanti, it just brought me down a couple of notches. And rather than shouting at that person, I would say Om Shanti, and I would explain that, my number is, not the same number, but a little bit of, almost a digit here and there. So in 2016, my wife brought me here, and from there, my actual journey, I wouldn't even say started, right? So when, when I was invited for this forum, the first thing I said, what, me to go and give a lecture You know, it was like, no so chuhe kha ke billi haj ko chale, you know. I was like, okay, if I can't talk about the Hajj, I'll at least talk how to eat the rats in the right way to get you there. So that was my whole motivation to come here and talk to you guys. So, coming back to human doing, I couldn't find an extra hand to put my iPad there, right? So I was trying to look for a picture to put my iPad there, but I couldn't find it. If that was not enough, conference calls, mobiles, computers, every company has got their internal chats, we have external chats, social media. You know, my son wants to do Snapchat, he'll call me, you know, Papa, you saw my Snapchat? I said, no, I did not. Where does it stop? It doesn't stop anywhere. When I get up in the morning, first, rather than wishing my wife or drinking water, I first go to my phone, put the lock on and see, okay, what happened? As if the whole world blew up and I was still sleeping. Nothing changed. So first thing I said, okay, no more multitasking. So I stopped multitasking, focus on one thing at a time. Not that your productivity go on, because when I was learning project management, it was like, do as many tasks in parallel so that they finish together. Reduce your work of series, you know, one after the other. But I think that's wrong, because your productivity actually increases when you do work, you know, in series, concentration, with focus, right, one after the other, then you don't have to do anything else. Of course, you know, we still have to live in this world. We still have to use social media, right? But to extent, what do we have to limit? So I started to limit my social media. I have not been to Facebook for a couple of months, right? I'll go every now and then, you know, to wish birthdays. Now even, you know, earlier we used to remember our friends' birthdays. Now Facebook is also taking away a memory, right? So it's all there, so you don't have to remember. And, you know, reduce that. So that was one of the changes I started to, you know, see in me. Next slide, please. The other thing, everybody knows what this is? Especially people coming from North, UP, Bihar. It's called Jugaad, right? Everybody knows this Jugaad. So we, as Indians, we are very, very, you know, we feel very good about say, yaar, kya jugaadu banda hai. You know, everybody says, yaar, aisa jugaad ho jaye to maza aa jaye. But I finally thought that, okay, in this thing of doing jugaad every day, it actually puts more stress on your system. Imagine you have a tap leaking in your kitchen overnight. You go and put a wood there, a wood stump to stop it. Are you going to forget about that tap forever? You did a jugaad, right? Jugaad karke pani rok diya. But you're always saying, yaar, agar kuch ho gaya, kya hoga, right? But if you got a plumber to fix it, will you ever think about it after he goes? Yes or no? No. So when we are into this jugaad, so India as such, our generation, we have to move away from jugaad. You know, not even just from our personal thing, even if we have to compete in the international markets, we have to move away from jugaad. Internally as well, we have to move away from the jugaad panti we always do. Yaar, koi jugaad ho jaye, ye kar de, jugaad kar de. You know, the moment you pick up your phone to your friend and what you say, yaar, koi jugaad hua kya? Movie ticket ka? अरे पहले जाके ऐप पे कर लो ना, जुगाड़ करने की क्या जरूरत है? We have to get into the systemic innovation. If we keep on going, you know, with multitasking, with keep on going everywhere, you know, with jugaad system, you know, we're going to break down. Because once you do it, you don't need to, you know, think about it. I don't know, I grew up in 80s. I don't know how many people grew up in 80s here, right? There was an ad of Hero Honda, which said, fill it, shut it, forget it, right? That's what you need to do in the systematic thinking and systematic innovation and systematic transformation. You need to do no more jugaad, get into it, do it right, not first time, second time, third time, and finish about it. Don't just do a sticky tape solution, you know, and keep going and keep worrying about it. So, this is going to be my last slide, right? I wish stress burned calories. You know, I would have been a supermodel. So, you know, and but it is, you know, a couple of things which I want to take away and give it to you. Stop the jugaad panti. try to focus on one thing at a time. And in the end, right, nothing is in control. The super control is up there. Connect with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Vikram. So it was very interesting when he talked about becoming a human being from human doing. That's one of the taglines that we use for some of our programs. When we talk about Leadership 2.0, Leadership 1.0 was all about doing. Leadership 2.0 is all about being. Okay, so for those set of retreats, we have this tagline as human doing to human being. And another interesting thing he brought about our usage of social media and trying to constantly keep checking. You know, as one of my friends was saying, checking your WhatsApp is like checking the kid's diaper. Nothing happens, but you check it anyway. Okay, so each one of us is not so important as we think we are in our false sense of ego that somebody is going to send a message, somebody will call me if I keep my mobile on silence. Try it for a couple of hours here, nothing is going to happen. But don't feel bad about that. Feel good that nobody called you. And then very importantly, he was also talking about multitasking being a thief or a myth, which is true. There's a lot of science behind it. Brain can think only one thought at a time. And he was also talking a lot about the digital detoxification, how it gave space for himself and for his family. And he also made a very interesting comment. So remember this for yourself. Our brain and mind are wonderful tathastu machines. You think negative, your brain says tathastu. You think positive, your brain says tathastu. So be it. So who has the key? That was yet another very powerful Punjabi style reminder from Vikram saying that you are in charge, and you are responsible. So we better use that skill. Wonderful. Thank you. Good. So we move on to the last speaker for today's session. We have Sister Aruna Ladwa. She's coming. So Sister Aruna is an accomplished meditation teacher and an author. She has written over 6 books. She spent over 34 years studying, teaching, and facilitating spiritual self-development. She's a certified negotiator in conflict resolution. And she also runs a very successful blog called It's Time to Meditate. And she has helped establish meditation centers in Vancouver, Canada, Istanbul in Turkey, Manama in Bahrain, and Kuwait City in Kuwait. So currently she is based out of Middle East. And Sister Aruna is fortunate to have the blend of 2 cultures, the East and the West. She was born in Kenya, educated in England, worked in Canada, and has lived in various other parts of the world and travels regularly to India. And in November 2014, she has received a Woman of Excellence Award from Yoga Federation of India for her contribution to social work. It's also very interesting that she comes after Vikram, who told us that you are not so important, don't have that false sense of ego. We'll have Sister Aruna sharing her insights about lighten up, ego loves predictability. That's what she's going to share with us. Welcome, Sister Aruna.
So, Om Shanti. I also felt that you've been sitting too long. Yeah, so shall we just do another exercise so you again just wake up? So I'd like everybody to stand up. And I'd like you to just partner with somebody. And it doesn't matter. Aap usko jante ho ya nahi, it doesn't matter. You're not going to tell your secrets of your heart. So just find somebody and face them. Yeah, you found a partner? Face each other? Okay. So one of you is A and one of you is B. ठीक है? Decide who's A and who's B. Okay. ठीक है? Okay. And now A is going to lead. We can have the music. So A is going to, this is all in silence, by the way. Okay? So A is going to lead and B is going to mime to A. Okay? So in other words, A will lead by doing some actions and B has to copy those actions. ठीक है? And you can be creative as much as you want. You can dance. You can, I don't know, whatever you want. Okay? If we can have some nice music. Okay, start. So A has to lead and B has to follow. Let's see who's the most creative. Shake your body, turn around, stand on one leg. So that was also easy, right? And I know that's coming out of my time, don't worry. Okay, so Om Shanti and welcome to Lighten Up. So as you can see, lighten up has a double meaning, right? Uska do meaning ho sakta hai. Lighten up means to be light and happy, khush bhi raho, or lighten up means to brighten your light, right? So have the glow, have the sparkle. And I know that this talk is meant to be more about personal experience of our journey, and it's very hard for me to choose because I've actually been in this knowledge longer than my actual age. So, in a sense, which means that I've been on this path longer than I've not been on this path. And I feel the journey has been a lot about breaking down the ego and breaking down, जैसे हम कहते हैं ना देह भान को तोड़ना. तो ये है हमारा पहला लेसन और आखिरी लेसन. जब हम शरीर छोड़ते हैं तो कौन सा लेसन होता है कि हम शरीर को कैसे आसानी से छोड़े. You see, if I'm stuck to the body, if I'm still attached to the body, तो वो अंतिम घड़ी पे बहुत मुश्किल होगा. तो जब आप आते हो ब्रह्मा कुमारी के पास तो कौन सा पहला लेसन सिखाया जाता है कि मैं कौन हूँ, right? Who am I? I'm a soul. So what I mean about ego loves predictability is ego जो है ना वो बहुत serious होता है, right? And this is I think what we all experience at work. We think that we have to be serious in front of our employees or people following us. We think we have to be serious to show them that we know a lot. We have to be serious to show we're responsible. So there's a lot of seriousness in having the ego and the power and the position. And predictability, I don't quite know the Hindi word, but it means कि जो हम चाहते हैं वो ही होना चाहिए. Predictability यानी हम ऐसे करेंगे तो ऐसे ही होगा. So नहीं होता है तो क्या होता है? पूर्व अनुमान. Okay, that's the translation. Purva Anuman. So what happens? So I'm just going to mention a few of the points that I feel are important in terms of this spiritual journey, and I think they will help you. I think we all go through them. ऐसे नहीं कि anyone is exempt from these things. So let's proceed with the first point. Yeah. So first point is ego lied to us. Ego ने हमारे से जैसे झूठ बोला. And what do we mean by this? We mean that, see, we took up the aspect of ego as a cover, as a cloak. And we took this up because we are actually all broken inside. We are bankrupt, right? हमको कैसे पता है कि हम bankrupt है? कंगाल बन गए. कैसे हमको पता है हम कंगाल है? How do we know we're bankrupt? No balance, no peace, right? None of the virtues actually. Even if we have a few virtues, we're kind of low in those virtues. Huh? थोड़ी शक्ति होंगी तो सहन शक्ति नहीं होंगी, थोड़ा धीरज होगा तो शांति नहीं होंगी. So we have some powers, but not to the full capacity. And we know that we are peaceless and restless, which is why we say the soul has become bankrupt. It's called bankruptcy of the soul. So ego told us, well, don't worry, you don't have so many internal powers, so set up some external powers. So that's why we started getting a good education, so we can have a good job, a good title, a good title on our door. I'm so-and-so senior manager, etc., CEO, whatever. Acquire the possessions, achhi gaadi lo, acha ghar lo, achhi vacation pe jao. I mean, this is all the build-up of ego, actually. It's the false image that we've created of ourselves. और जब वो बातें नहीं होती है तो क्या होता है? समझो आपकी गाड़ी का एक्सीडेंट हुआ, हाँ, आपका घर जल गया, your money is lost. Then what happens? Sorrow. Exactly. This is exactly what happens, right? So basically, this is what happens, is that we take sorrow. And this is how we know that it's ego. So anytime आप कभी भी किसी बात से दुख ले रहे हो, so अपने को चेक करो कि ये मेरा अभिमान है कि नहीं. Because if there is no ego, then there is nothing to break. There's nothing to dent. We say my ego is dented. जैसे गाड़ी का दरवाज़ा होता है ना, उसमें थोड़ा डेंट हो जाता है ना, खड्डा हो जाता है, तो then you say no, there's no ego, so there's nothing to attack. So why is it that we take sorrow? In fact, taking sorrow means being very sensitive. But we're sensitive because of our ego. So ego lied to us, telling us, I will protect you, but it didn't. It still made us unhappy. And so what should we do in place of ego, which is actually swaman, self-respect. Swaman, swa ko maan do pehle. Don't wait for it from others. To koi deve ya na deve, it doesn't matter. मैं अपने को दूँ ने. What are we doing in meditation? I always say meditation is the greatest act of self-respect. I'm sitting with myself, I'm giving myself time, I'm talking to myself, I'm loving myself. हमेशा किसी के साथ ये करते हैं तो ये प्यार की निशानी है ना. किसी को टाइम दो, किसी से प्यार से बात करो, तो दूसरों के साथ तो हम प्यार से बात करेंगे और अपने को डांटेंगे. That's not nice, right? So sit with yourself in meditation, love yourself, be kind to yourself, and don't take sorrow. This is why I'm saying if you don't mind, it doesn't matter. हम किसी बात को माइंड करते हैं ना, हमारा ख्याल जाता है ना उस तरफ, इसलिए वो मैटर होता है, मतलब उसका ख्याल चलता है. ओके, समझो बालाजी ने मेरा अनाउंसमेंट अच्छी तरह से नहीं किया. समझो उसको ये भी बोलना चाहिए था, वो भी बोलना चाहिए था, उसने नहीं बोला. लेकिन मैं माइंड करूँ तो दुख होगा ना. मैं माइंड न करूँ तो, जैसे कल भी मैंने देखा निर्भय भाई ने आशा दीदी का नाम नहीं लिया. शायद आपने नोट किया होगा या नहीं. लेकिन आशा दीदी को दुख हुआ क्या? जाके कमरे में रोई क्या? नहीं, क्योंकि स्वमान है. कोई बोले न बोले, कोई मान देवे न देवे, हमको तो है ना हमारा स्वमान. You see? तो कोई भी बात, so come back to personal experience. You see my white hair, right? I'm actually younger than I look. लेकिन एक दिन मैंने बस फैसला किया कि नहीं, कलर नहीं करना है बाल को. मैं जो हूँ, जैसी हूँ, अच्छी हूँ. If I mind what it looks like, then it matters. बट कोई भी बात आपके जीवन में ऐसी परिस्थिति आती है ना, आप बस एक संकल्प कर दो कि it doesn't matter. Don't worry, it doesn't matter. And then you'll be able to overcome that easily. और बात यह है कि दुख नहीं लेना. हाँ, this is the thing. हम दुख क्यों लेते हैं? Actually, we say don't take sorrow, don't give sorrow. हम दुख क्यों देते हैं? Because हमारे में विकार है. हमारे में गुण होते तो हम दुख नहीं देते. तो इसलिए यहाँ मेडिटेशन में बैठ के अपना जो गुण है, गुण तो अंदर ही है, कहाँ बाहर दुकान से नहीं लेना है, अंदर ही है, अंदर से वो निकालना है. We have to practice it. We have to literally practice the virtue. हाँ, जैसे धीरज की शक्ति कैसे आएंगी? जैसे बोलने से आएंगी? हाँ, धीरज 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 ऐसे आएंगी? नहीं, धीरज धरो, प्रैक्टिस. हाँ, कुछ हो रहा है, टाइम जा रहा है, प्रैक्टिस. कंट्रोल द थॉट्स, बी पीसफुल. दूसरे के बारे में गलत मत सोचो. दिस इज द प्रैक्टिस ऑफ धीरज. यू सी, सहन शक्ति, सहन करो. ऐसे बोलने से नहीं आएंगी. हाँ, मैं तो सहन कर रहा हूँ ना, कहाँ है, अभी तक नहीं आए, पता नहीं क्या हो रहा है, कैसा है ये आदमी. नो, दैट्स नॉट सहन शक्ति. एक तरफ कह रहे हो कि सहन शक्ति है, लेकिन यू आर नॉट एग्जेम्प्लीफाइंग इट, राइट. तो करना पड़ता है. दैट्स व्हाई वी से धारणा में ले आओ, धारण करो, ब्रिंग इट इन टू योर एक्शन. ओके, सो जब गुण होगा तो यू वॉन्ट टेक sorrow. Next, nothing is that important. Even me, even you, nothing is that important. Everything that's happening is, जैसे हम कहते हैं ना, कुदरत, ड्रामा का खेल है. हम सब एक्टर्स हैं इस ड्रामा में. मैं बस अभी ये स्टेज पे हूँ, कल वहाँ बैठ सकती हूँ. It's not that important. What is most important कि मेरी मन की स्थिति कैसी है. Think about it. Even at work, it's not important actually what you're doing. It's important how you are doing it. आप खुश हो क्या करते समय? When you get your salary at the end of the month, what did you get your salary for? Because if you think you are working for money, then you are a slave to money. But if you're going to work and you are being, you are radiating, you are sharing and giving. So being means spreading all these virtues, spreading the fragrance of all these virtues. Then that means that you're living. You're not just working, you're not a slave to your job or your company. तो फिर अच्छा लगेगा कि ये जो मेरे को मिल रहा है, मैं वापस दे भी रहा हूँ. I'm not just taking, I'm giving. You're not just being paid for the job you're doing. You're just living, enjoying, and the bonus, the salary is actually a bonus at the end of the month. Right? So think like this. हाँ, जब आप काम पे जाते हो ऐसे सोचो कि आप सेवा पे जा रहे हो. This is what we tell our Brahma Kumari students. सेवा करने के लिए जा रहे हो. You're going to be that living light bulb to radiate that inner light. So yeah, don't think you're important. Everybody can be changed tomorrow. The seat is not that important. मैं हमेशा कहती हूँ कि जब तक ओबामा प्रेसिडेंट था तब तक सब उसका मान रखते थे, लेकिन जैसे वो सीट से उतरा, right, the moment he came off that seat, he will not get that same respect unless it's relational power, relational friendship. If friendship is based just because of the seat, that's it, it's finished when the seat is finished. You see? So we have to build relationships, friendly relationships, loving relationships, and not just because of our position, not positional, but relational relationships. And this is something that Dadi Janki said to us, a small group of us Kumaris at one time. And she said, busyness is laziness. तो पहले तो हमने सोचा कि क्या है इसका मतलब. हाँ, busyness is laziness. हमने सोचा दादी पता नहीं कौन सी दुनिया में. But it's very deep point. Yeah? If I say I'm busy, 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 then what am I saying? That I'm actually lazy, too lazy to look at myself, too lazy to transform. जैसे कल भी आशा दीदी ने कहा ना कि टाइम नहीं है to sharpen your saw. टाइम नहीं है. तो टाइम किसके लिए है? जब अपने लिए नहीं है तो किसके लिए है? And if I'm busy, what am I busy with? आपको पता है मैं कुवैत में रहती हूँ, राइट? हमेशा सबके पास फास्ट कार्स होती है, भागते हैं, लेकिन टाइम पर हम दोनों टाइम एक ही टाइम पे ट्रैफिक लाइट पे पहुँचते हैं. But they stressed, and I decided not to stress. You see? So we are going where? And how far? And how fast? All to get to the same point? To our death? So why don't we slow down, and why don't we look and see how we're living our lives? Why am I busy with what? See, for us, हम बैठ के योग करते हैं, कई बार 2-3 घंटा इकट्ठे योग करते हैं. मीन्स एक साथ, बट ऑल्सो 3-3 घंटे. तो शायद आपको लगेगा क्या करते हैं ये लोग, ये तो वेस्ट ऑफ टाइम है. And you might think, okay, playing golf or, sitting in a cafe or having a good meal, that's a better use of time. But it's the prapti, isn't it? हमको प्राप्ति क्या होती है meditation से? This is what we are looking at. We're not looking at what we're giving up. We're looking at what we are getting, what we are achieving. Even 4 o'clock, हाँ? आज कौन उठे थे सुबह 4 बजे? Wow, very good. Bravo. Yeah, अच्छा लगा? Yeah, good. तो आपने थोड़ी नींद कम की, लेकिन प्राप्ति तो हुई ना? You see? So this is why we also practice meditation. We have to fit it into our day, because we experience the benefits. हाँ? एक दिन भी नहीं करते हैं तो ऐसे खाली खाली लगता है. So this is why don't be busy with useless things. Be busy with important things. Because at the end you have to be accountable for your soul, right? खाता भगवान को देना पड़ेगा ना, कहाँ कहाँ टाइम बिताया. Okay, so here, do you want to be right or do you want peace of mind? ईगो हमेशा अपने को प्रूव करने की कोशिश करता है कि मैं ही सही हूँ, मैं ही सही हूँ, मैं ही सही हूँ. So I don't know if you know this story. It's the emperor, the emperor's clothes. It's बच्चों की कहानी है एक. तो कहानी ऐसी है कि ये 2 बंदे आए, ये जो है ना 2 बंदे आए राजा के पास और कहते हैं कि हम आपके लिए, टेलर थे वो, तो उसने कहा हम आपके लिए बहुत अच्छा सूट बना सकते हैं, लेकिन बहुत महंगा है और शायद आपको अच्छा लगे न लगे, लेकिन जो इतना सियाना आदमी है ना वो ही इसको परख सकेंगे ये. So the king thought, okay, let me trust them. And he wants to look really smart, he wants to look really great. So he thought, okay. He asked his advisor, he goes, what do you think? He said, yeah, okay. Okay, so they got the duty to make his clothes. पहले तो इतना टाइम लगा रहे थे, कब बन रहा है, कहते हैं टाइम लगता है बहुत. It's very refined work, it's very important. It'll take time. Finally, वो लोग ले आए. So they brought the dress and it's invisible, right? दिखाई नहीं देता है. कहते देखो कितना सुंदर है. तो शर्म के मारे उसने कहा हाँ बहुत सुंदर है ये तो, right? तो उसने कहा आप पहन लो. मैं पहन लूँ? हाँ पहन लो, हाँ ठीक है. पहले कपड़ा उतारो ना. हाँ कपड़ा उतारता हूँ. So धीरे धीरे कपड़ा उतारा और उसने कहा लो ऐसे हाथ डालो. उसने ये सब किया. फिर 2 बंदे ने कहा वाह कितना अच्छा लगता है, आप कितने अच्छे लगते हो. कहता है ठीक है मैं अच्छा लगता हूँ, And he started buying into this idea, right, that he's wearing something very beautiful, very handsome. फिर बाहर गए. कहते चलो सबको दिखाते हैं गांव में, ये आपने क्या पहना, नया सूट आया. फिर बाहर ले गए, एंड दिस इज़ द स्टोरी. हाँ, उसको बाहर ले गए गांव में चक्कर लगाने के लिए. तो सब हंसने लगे कि क्या है ये नाटक. फिर ये जो छोटा बच्चा है ना, उसने क्या किया, उसने उसको सत्य बात बताई. He says, you have no clothes on. तो किंग ने कहा हाँ हाँ. And that's when he realized that they were lying to him. You see, झूठ बोल रहे थे ये दो बंदे. So the boy represents the innocence, the purity, right? और क्या है कि जब हम अपने स्वमान में आते हैं, अपनी पवित्रता की शक्ति में आते हैं, तो वहाँ से ही हमारा जो अभिमान है, कालापन है, वो सब दिखाई देता है. जब तक हम एरोगेंस में हैं ना, तब तक नहीं दिखाई देता है. So we need to come into the light and not stay in the darkness. And this is my point. If I always want to be right, then I'll actually always be unhappy. But sometimes you have to decide, do you want to fight the battle or do you want to win the war? So fighting the battle is, yes, I'm right here. But the war is, I am at peace. This is my eternal battle. Am I at peace at all times? Okay, this is the last slide. Yeah. So what is in place of the ego is self-respect, mera swaman. I am an eternal being. So I'll just end with the last little story. So as some of you know, my parents came into Gyan in London, and this is how we family also came into Gyan. So one day I came from school, and my mom said to me, look at everything around, right? Look at everything. Lights dekho, stage, fan, sab kuch. Ghadi, sab kuch. It's been made, it's been created. It's matter, but it's been made and it will one day be destroyed. But Mary Mother ne kaha ki one thing that will never be destroyed is the soul. And this is the point that gave me my spiritual birth. Atma ajar avinashi hai. Ajar amar avinashi hai. The soul is never destroyed. The body is destroyed, everything else will destroy. But I, the soul, will never die. No fire can burn me, no water can drown me, no sword can cut me. I am eternal. And so since then, this is what I have applied my effort to. Yahi purusharat mein lagi hoon ke main ajar amar avinashi atma hoon. And this is what will help to conquer the ego. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Aruna. The 2 points that you might want to take, even if you forget so many things that she has spoken in case. जहां भी बुद्धि का फेरा है, वहां मेरा है. That is the lesson we learn in Raj Yoga. Any time your mind gets upset, know it is because of merapan. Somewhere there is an ego, however subtle it is, that's why you are getting upset. जहां भी बुद्धि का फेरा है, वहां मेरापन है, मेरा है. One. Second, meditation is making an appointment with yourself, for yourself, with love. It's an appointment you are giving to yourself. You are making with yourself, for yourself. And the third point, this is one such unique university where, as Sister Aruna was mentioning, the first lesson and the last lesson are exactly the same. The slight difference is to know that you are a soul is the first lesson. To be that you are a soul is the last lesson. That's all. So now I invite the three speakers onto the stage, and then we will together meditate for a minute and thank them for all the wonderful insights that they have given us. Is that okay? Yeah.
So let me just turn my attention inside and look at the screen of my mind. And it is here that I make a conscious choice to create only pure, peaceful, and powerful thoughts. So this morning you heard a lot, but from that, what is the seed that you are planting for yourself?